area that we need to then take a decision is on mechanization of our agriculture, so that we can then be able to have more productivity. I know from the high end of our farmers, the commercial ones, we have really done quite well. But I think it is the other lower end, the smaller holder agriculture, where I think majority of our participants, they are women. Okay. This is where I think we would really want, I think as we have come to you, we would really want to explore that, where we have got, the small tractors that can be able to till, plant, do our harvest, and also have some kind of transport so that we can also be able to get our crops to the market. So I think to me that is the major focus I think that we are really coming to. And to me I think as I was looking at your presentation, which I hope you are then going to be able to favor us, so that at least as we go back, we know we've got the technical Ministry of Agriculture back home. This is some kind of information that we would really want to also be able to share with them. But I think the other area that we would also want to hear from you is also the area of partnership. If you could then be able to also assemble, I think, some of the equipment that I think you were showing us, so that we could also have that kind of a partnership with the, say, maybe a local company in Zimbabwe. Okay. I think those are the areas that we could then be able to explore. We have got our investment agents called ZIDA, Zimbabwe Investment Agents. Okay. So I think that could be another possibility area that we could also be able to share with you. As a ministry, as the permanent secretary responsible for the Ministry of Women Affairs, Community, Small and Medium Enterprises Development, I think you have heard the majority of my crew here saying, almost everyone here is a farmer. Okay. Yes. That's nice. Almost everyone. I think majority of them have got an area that they specialize in, but at the end of the day, they are also farmers because they benefited from the land reform. So I think to me that's an area that we would really want to really move on, especially the low end, the small kind of equipment that we could then be able to have. Mm-hmm. And the other issue that we would also want to explore with you is, yes, people can then be able to acquire any equipment, but it is the after service that we would also want to be able to explore and be able to. But I think majority of that equipment will then have the chance to see it, I think, as we go around. But from the ministry and then from my point of view of the permanent secretary, it is really that other equipment I think that I was talking about. The small equipment where my mother has got a 5-hectare plot. Okay. She would then want to do tillage. Yes, we have generally been relying on draft power of our cattle. Okay. But we have had so many diseases, and the majority of these cattle have been wiped off. Okay. But as a serious government, if we really want to do production, I think we really need to invest in the mechanization of our agriculture. Yes. So I think that's the area that I think we would then want to touch on. So I can then be able to give at least my other colleagues some other areas of interventions, so that we could also be able to benefit from your presentation. But I'm extremely excited about the presentation that you gave us.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr.
We've been trying to work with our Ministry of Small and Medium and the Ministry of Agriculture. If you remember 2017 through INOCO, we've got your catalogs, all your details about how this is happening. So wanted to partner with you in the assembling. But then when we were about to get there on the logistic, then the COVID comes. There was a break. Now we are here today. We think we are going to continue and we're going to lead us with our ministry to make sure that mostly we manage to assemble, especially small tractors for women, and then for other small scale farmers, those 16 horsepower, 20 horsepower, 28 horsepower. To start with that, although one we can get the bigger one, 78 horsepower. Why we are doing that? We are not making any tractor, manufacturing any tractor, either assembly, if I understand to be corrected, in our country. So we'll be very happy to find ourselves one day with you assembling, starting at small scale. Promote us, support our government, support human beings in other nations in order to be where you are today. Starting by assembling. Assembly means everything is done here, it's only putting together and going in the field. So by that, customers, when you talk of customers, SMEs on a small scale farming, it's a huge number, it's a big number. Customers, and us, we believe in not loans when we need something, especially in my country, Zimbabwe. We pay cash. We pay installment. When you give me a tractor to say pay over 6 months, you get surprised I pay over an hour. As long as it is close to me where I can see it. You see? But the problem is to thinking as an individually, to have one tractor, and now the cost of transportation, the duties being one involved, but it has been scrapped by our government on agriculture, that much I can speak. But I can leave that part for transportation as an individual. It becomes so costly. When those agents took those to our country, to Zimbabwe, maybe something for 20,000 from here, it ends up being 60,000. Still, it becomes unaffordable. But when you assemble and have a point, we will be, as a team, not have interest of that profit because it will be a come together thinking and an idea to make sure that everybody equally can be able to get easy machinery to use on each of a person's land. So I think, in short, my point is, through our ministry, through our government, to continue on the instigate idea of putting a sample. The area is there. He comes, he identifies his supervisor. What left was for you to come by that time, for him to invite you. The place, big place, finished, well, everything roofed, the electricity there. Only to put it in the standard which you want in terms of assembly. That I think I can end there without spoiling the book.
Thank you. Thanks for your insights. And I'll just take a couple of minutes with what Mr. Mike said, and you also nicely put up all the things. See, when we talk about mechanization, that is the way forward for any economy that is looking ambitiously towards increasing their farm yield. Mechanization is the only way. Right. In India also it started the same way. So maybe a couple of decades back we were also struggling with the same things, that we were relying more on the animal power. So the actual farm power was very low. But due to consistent effort of different governments over the decades, now the farm power has increased drastically. So currently, if you talk about India, almost 9 lakh, almost 1 million tractors are being sold on yearly basis across India. So that is the number that we have been witnessing for last several years. So it used to be 7-8 lakhs, now it's almost 1 million a year, right? So it's a prime mover. Any equipment, small equipment you want to use, you have to have a prime mover. So tractor is the basic requirement. Now, as you rightly mentioned, there are women farmers, small farmers, they can't even afford to buy a tractor. Even in India, they can't afford to buy. There are so many manufacturers who are based out in India. So we can understand in Zimbabwe, if somebody has to export from here, it will be pretty expensive. Right? And that way, if somebody has to bargain as an individual, then that individual bargaining is of no use. So until the government comes into picture and then they decide, all right, we want to buy some 500,000 tractors, then they have a negotiation, power, and they can strike a good deal. However, even if the individuals are not able to buy, in India we have seen in last several years that government has come with some strategy, some other ideas, so that even if there is no individual buying or ownership, still they are making the machinery available to the people. small, land holding people who can't afford to buy it. So what government is doing? Government is giving subsidies to establish custom hiring centers or farm equipment banks, right? So since most of you come from small and medium enterprise segment, it's a very good opportunity if you could represent to your government and give this suggestion that they should also give some financial assistance. So if they give a financial assistance for a project value, maybe some part, some 50%, 60%, 70%, then the entrepreneurs can come forward, the private players can come forward. Suppose the value is say 1 million. So maybe if government gives $500,000 as a financial assistance, $500,000 is invested by the private entrepreneurs, then it's a viable project. And then they can start renting this machine to the needy who can't own it individually. So this model has been really successful. And it has been here for several years, and it has really helped the small and marginal landholders into being able to access the mechanization. Otherwise they were still relying on the bulls and the cattle and other things, and it was not pretty doing any good to them. So this is one area where you should also think and maybe suggest to the government that through financial assistance, by making some farm machinery banks, the mechanization can be made accessible to the people who themselves can't afford it. So this is what my submission is. And about assembling things, you can rest assured, if we have some opportunity to supply tractors, we will find out a way to assemble it locally, to provide the after sales service, to provide the spare parts, because we understand machinery is not for a single usage, it's going to be used for several years, maybe 5, 7, 8 years. So that we will take care of. But for that we need some sort of, viable number of machinery to be delivered. Right. Then only we can go back to our management and say, this is the proposal, because see, ultimately, it has to be commercially viable project that we present to our management. So this is what my submission is, and I look forward to hear from other dignitaries as well.
Colleagues, any comments, questions?
Your question on the New Holland leadership there.
Oh, all right, okay.
Do they have or not? You said there was somebody in New Holland having.
Oh yeah, we just wanted to find out that we understand that there should be a dealership already for an agent for New Holland Zimbabwe. Are you the ones who give that dealership?
I need to find out from our team, because the African market is taken care by our team. They sit in Istanbul. So our team in Istanbul, they take care of African region. So we are not directly in touch with the dealers or the network there. So I will definitely find out, and I'll let Mr. Softi know, and he will communicate.
You're saying maybe there could be one dealer already there.
Yeah, maybe, because in several African countries we do have our channel partner. But specifically whether it's there in Zimbabwe, right now I'm not aware. Yeah. But when we sent this list of dignitaries, your delegation list to our counterparts, they said nobody from our channel is there. I mean, nobody from New Holland dealership or a channel partner, he could not find any name. So that much he confirmed.
So right now there is no official dealership there. Somebody could be buying in bulk and just selling. But officially from the New Holland side, because New Holland, India controls the supplies to Africa. Yeah. If it's coming from New Holland, some other country, that's not concerned with them.
We export to almost 100 countries from this plant, but the African market is also catered from other plants depending upon the requirement. So we, like here we are producing, for domestic market we are producing up to 90 HP.
90 horsepower.
90 horsepower. If there is some different requirement, then it may be fulfilled by some other plant. So we have almost 70 plants across the globe. So different plants are catering to different markets.
It looks like from our team, we are quite satisfied, sir, with the presentation that you have given us. And I think as what the Permanent Secretary has said, we will be very much interested to explore how we can work together with the New Holland and the government, but also the private sector through Mr. Moyo and the rest of the team. Otherwise, from our end, thank you so much, sir, for the presentation.
Yeah, you are most welcome. We are happy that you are satisfied with the presentation. So if you all are done with your refreshments, we can proceed for plant visit. Actually, worldwide we have 13 brands. In agriculture, one is New Holland, the another one is Case IH. So Case also belongs to CNHI. CNHI is the name of our mother company. Plant में नहीं
नहीं यहाँ पे नहीं है, it's not here, but they have the same place. It's the same group.
No, here also we are manufacturing case tractors, but they are being exported. In India, we are not selling case brand.
They are selling in New Holland, it's been sold in India. Case is for export. They have a territory. Because they
But in Africa, both case and New Holland both are available.
So Case is also owned by the same group. Even their construction, somebody from here was into construction also. The construction equipment are also into that.
But
The
case
loader and
IH,
everything, yeah.
the sugarcane harvester we are selling in India.
The sugarcane harvest.
Sugarcane harvesters we are selling in India under case IH brand.
Yeah.
Our plant is in near Pune, in Maharashtra, Maharashtra state.